Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Amazingly, we are somehow already almost 2/3 of the way through 2025. This does, however, make it a great time to check in on the best games that released this year, and also those highly anticipated titles yet to come. Now, there are of course links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we go through today's list, please let me know down in the comments what has been your favorite VR game of this year so far. But let's start this list off right at the top with my current #1 Game of the Year contender, Ghost Town, coming from developer Fireproof Studios, the same team that gave us the absolutely beloved puzzle title, The Room VR: A Dark Matter. And now they're back with an even better story-driven adventure puzzle game. Now, one of the immediate standouts for this game is just how freaking good it looks. Even if you're playing this game on a standalone headset like the MetaQuest, there are moments when it looks near photorealistic. It's mind-boggling just how far they've been able to push the graphics, because this game is easily up there with the best of the best like Red Matter 2 and Asgard's Wrath 2. Now, high fidelity is definitely appreciated in a VR game. It helps with the overall immersion, but what really sells this title is its storyline. You're thrown into this really cool world where sorcery and beings like ghosts exist. And then you get to experience the life of someone with these magical abilities, starting from their early childhood relationship with their brother, all the way to an epic mission that has you retrieving one of the world's most magical artifacts. Across the board, this game is a near solid 10. Excellent graphics, storytelling, voice acting, with an absolutely perfect puzzle difficulty level where you do feel challenged but never get too frustrated. Now, even with the fact that I'm not a big fan of puzzle games, this is easily at the top of my 2025 Game of the Year list. There's still plenty of competition though, because we finally got a good VR version of an absolutely fantastic game. Apparently, when it comes to Hitman VR, the fourth time is the charm. World of Assassination finally delivers on PlayStation VR 2. Solid mechanics with physical interaction, the graphics look fantastic, unlike the potato version we got on the MetaQuest, and overall, it just finally felt like Hitman fit in VR. So we got a really good version of a title that's already fantastic, and just the sheer level of high quality content that this game offers up makes it an easy contender for Game of the Year. But Hitman World of Assassination is just a port of a game that we already love. As good as it may be, I still highly value creativity and a game that can still surprise me. Now, not lacking in creativity and feeling like something completely new, we have Arken Age. Immediately, this game brings us to a unique sci-fi style world. The planet feels alien. The plants are lush, the creatures are exotic, and the world is also filled with hostile cybernetic creatures. So immediately we have a one-of-a-kind setting that the game does an excellent job of matching with an equally unique combat system. It's physics-based like your blade and sorcery, so you'll have plenty of fun running up and bashing your enemies' faces in. But then there's also some truly unique range weapons, like an array of different lasers or floating axes that you could repeatedly throw at your enemies. So again, we have another title that fires on all cylinders. Excellent graphics, combat, and crafting system, a truly unique sci-fi world to explore, and a well-executed storyline. Now, it's not my main contender for Game of the Year, but I would totally understand if it is somebody else's. Now, on the topic of debatable games, we have the construction sandbox title Besiege. Okay, hold up one sec with those pitchforks. Let me explain. Besiege is already an absolutely beloved title, overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, and it was completely viral years back when it released. So we're starting with a title that is already fantastic, but the game actually gets so much better in VR. I was honestly comparing it to the PC version as much as possible, and I just couldn't believe what I was witnessing. It runs and looks great on the MetaQuest, building feels more intuitive and better than ever, and it's so much more fun to drive your vehicle from inside of VR. I'm currently rocking an RTX 5090 in my PC, and I kid you not, I feel like I'm getting a better experience from the native Quest 3 version. I'm also not really a fan of construction or sandbox games, so the sheer fact that I absolutely love this title means it has to be something special. And finally, we'll end this list with another game that I thought was special. Not only did The Midnight Walk offer up some of the most unique and emotional storytelling I've experienced in years, it also had a one-of-a-kind claymation art style. In-game, it's sort of trippy, and you truly feel immersed in this bizarre, colorless world. Now I can understand the people who didn't enjoy this game, because overall it's a walking simulator with some cat and mouse style horror moments and some light puzzles. I was just intrigued from the moment I stepped into this game. I just wanted to know more about this world. And then you're immediately introduced to the best VR companion since Quill from Moss. Pop Boy will literally bring the heat, and as your friendship grows, you can get him to burn hotter and hotter. The ending also hit me in the feels, so I went back and completely replayed this game. Now I expect this will be the title with the least mainstream appeal, but for sheer style points alone, this deserves to be on the Game of the Year list. Now if none of these games are your style, don't worry because 2025 still has at least 4 huge games on the way. And first up is the self-described, groundbreaking, cinematic, action-adventure game, Reach. Now previous End Dreams games, like Fracked and Phantom Covert Ops, definitely delivered on that high adrenaline action. Now this is technically coming from a new studio, End Dreams Elevation, which I'm hoping is the cream of the crop that remains after End Dreams downsizing. But historically, this is a studio that always delivers, and now they're finally trying to push out a much bigger AAA style game. Now honestly, this both sounds and looks perfect. While their previous titles were all a lot of fun, but they were also a bit shallow. Both the mechanics and combat look a lot more impactful here. So overall, this is very close to the game I'm most excited to see. But speaking of a studio that always delivers, we have Triangle Factory planning to drop a huge Battlefield style shooter in VR. We're talking 32 players in game, battling it out on the land, sea, and air. There's boats, planes, jeeps, and plenty of other vehicles to try out. And there's even a player class system, so you can take on specific roles in the battlefield. Now, if trying to bring Battlefield into VR sounds a bit too ambitious, I will remind you this is the same studio that gave us the Rainbow Six style shooter Breachers, and also my favorite arena shooter, Hyperdash. So I'd bet money on the fact that this is going to be a solid game. And I think I could comfortably say the same about Deadpool VR. Again, we have another OG studio, Twisted Pixel, that previously gave us games like Defector, Path of the Warrior, and Wilson's Heart. But now they have a really cool licensed IP with Deadpool, and they're also getting that meta money. So if you're unaware, Meta previously acquired Twisted Pixel, just like they did with Sanzaru and Camouflage, and then they give those studios a really nice budget, leading to games like Asgard's Wrath 2 and Batman Arkham Shadow. So overall, I think we're going to get a really fun, high quality experience, but I just have this feeling it's going to be a little bit more fluff rather than any really high quality gameplay. Pretty much hack slash, shoot, explosion, funny joke. Now I'm not complaining, I'm sure I'll love this game, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a Game of the Year contender. And to continue on with another spicy take, the game I'm most excited for is Battlemarked. For whatever reason, I'm not expecting to see a lot of hype for this game. But for those of you on the lookout for this title, you know who you are. I think we're gonna love this game. Battlemarked is a combination of Demio with an officially licensed Dungeons & Dragons adventure. There's going to be a storyline with player choices, the lore and creatures we love from that D&D world, and an evolution of that great tabletop experience that Demio gives you. So now for all of those people that said Demio was Dungeons & Dragons in VR, no, it's not. But this game will be, and Demio is already 10 out of 10, so I'm expecting to be blown away. And that right there was my current 2025 Game of the Year contenders. Now please let me know what your top Game of the Year is right now, and if you think I missed any titles. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, and as always, I'll see you guys on next time.